the continent. This gathering is a continuation of the tradition of excellence and collaboration that defines the ANPBO, but also a reaffirmation of our shared commitments to strengthen democratic governance and fiscal accountability in the African continent. The ANPBO is a critical platform for peer learning, capacity building, and promoting the institutionalization of evidence-based public finance management. The strides made so far are commendable. Improved legislative scrutiny, enhanced transparency, and an increasingly informed citizenry. These achievements are a testament to the vision and hard work of every member state present here. In Nigeria, we continue to witness the positive impact of the National Assembly Budget and Research Office, NABRO, whose technical analysis and objective reporting have become an invaluable tools in the legislative process in the National Assembly. We recognized similar successes across the continent, and we are inspired by the dedication of each national parliament here present. However, our work is far from done as we face evolving economic, social, and environmental challenges, from debt sustainability to public sector reform. The role of parliamentary budget offices has never been more vital. I encourage us all to use this conference not only as a platform for exchange, but as a springboard for innovation and renewed commitment to fiscal representability. Let us all reflect on how we can broaden participation, deepen impact, and build more resilient institutions. As I conclude, let me use this opportunity to thank the Speaker for honoring our invitation. As a matter of fact, his presidency has not only added color to this conference, he has actually, his presence here represents the importance in National Assembly. When I say National Assembly, I'm talking of both houses, even though the Senate President is not here. But the mere fact that the Speaker is here, it means the Senate President is equally in support of this program. I want to equally commend the organizers, the facilitators, and the delegates for their commitments to this important cause. Nigeria is proud to host this year's conference to support the ANPBO in fulfilling its noble mission. May your deliberation be productive, your collaboration enduring, and your stay in Nigeria memorable. Thank you.
Please, I'd like that we appreciate the clerk to the National Assembly as the chief host of this event one more time. Thank you very much indeed. A clarion call to all of you. Time to reflect, time to deepen participation and inclusiveness, and of course, to make our laudable contributions to the dialogues that will ensue at this conference. Please, one more round of applause for the CNA. Thank you so much, sir. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite to the podium a man whose name has become synonymous with parliamentary excellence across Africa, a man with visionary leadership and an unflinching commitment to the service of our great nation and indeed the continent of Africa. He's a tested legislator, a bridge builder and a reformer whose passion for strengthening democratic institutions has continued to inspire both colleagues of his and citizens alike. And as the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he stands pretty very tall as the custodian of the people's mandate and also as a shining example of integrity, resilience, and statesmanship. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we welcome our special guest of honor, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, GCUON, Speaker, House of Representatives, to deliver his remarks and formally declare the 8th ANPBO Annual Conference open. Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Please, you may sit down. Thank you. Professor Dumisani Jantris, the chairperson of African Nigeria Parliamentary Assembly Budget Offices. Mr. Kamoru Ogolana Esquire, the clerk of the National Assembly of Nigeria. Engineer Bashir Iyero, FNSE, the deputy clerk of the National Assembly. Honorable Henry N., the Executive Secretary of the National Assembly Trust Fund, Secretaries of Directories of the National Assembly, the former clerk to the National Assembly, Alhaji Sani Tambuan, delegates from African countries here present, other invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly and deeply honored to deliver this keynote address at the 8th Annual African Network of Parliamentary Budget Offices Conference. I extend my gratitude to the organizers of this conference for arranging it and for inviting me to present the keynote. I'm equally honored to accept your request to serve as patron of the network. It is indeed a big honor. My vision for the network is that it serves as a dynamic platform that enhances the ability of African parliaments to conduct transparent, evidence-based budgeting and maintain rigorous fiscal oversight. The theme of this conference, the role of PBOs in African parliaments, fiscal oversight, contribution to the African 2063 Development Agenda, is timely and significant. The primary focus of my address is on the importance of robust parliamentary fiscal oversight backed by independent and capable parliamentary budget offices for achieving sustainable development in Nigeria and indeed across Africa. In my address, I will provide data-driven insights into our continent's fiscal situation, the challenges we encounter in oversight, the legislative measures we are pursuing, including Nigeria's own National Assembly Budget and Research Office initiative, and the prospect for regional cooperation to promote good governance. I start with the Africa's development context, opportunities, and fiscal realities. Africa is at the crucial crossroads in its history, with a population of approximately 1.4 billion people, roughly 1/6 of humanity. Our continent is young, growing and brimming with potentials. Nigeria, as Africa's most populous nation, with over 200 million people and a GDP of around $477 billion in 2022, carries a special responsibility in this African story. We are a continent of abundant resources and talented youth, and we have bold ambitions captured in the African Union's Agenda 2063, which serves as the blueprint for the Africa we want. However, the path to realizing this vision remains difficult. Economic growth in sub-Saharan Africa is recovering, although modestly, with the World Bank projecting an increase from 3.3% in 2024 to 3.5% in 2025. This is indeed encouraging, but it is not yet sufficient to meet our development needs. Poverty remains widespread. An estimated 464 million Africans live in extreme poverty as of 2024. Unemployment and underemployment, especially among young people, are urgent issues. Each year, 12 million young Africans enter the labor market, yet only around 3 million formal jobs are created. This gap in opportunities highlights a potential demographic dividend that could turn into a demographic risk if we do not take action. People across Africa demand and deserve economic policies that result in food on the table, jobs for the youth, and better public services. Crucially, development strategies in our various countries, including national and continental development plans, must be adequately reflected in government budgets and supported by robust oversight. People look to their parliaments to carefully align public spending with broader development objectives and thoughtfully consider the voices of their constituents in fiscal decision-making. I will speak on some key challenges in fiscal oversight, debt and deficit and leakages. Effective fiscal oversight faces significant challenges grounded in hard realities that we must confront with equally hard data. One major challenge is public debt. When managed prudently, it can serve as a catalyst for development. Recently, a speech delivered by the House leader at the West African Parliamentary Conference was erroneously and mischievously reported out of context, creating the false impression that the House of Representatives does not support the borrowing strategy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. We wish to state clearly that this interpretation is both inaccurate and misleading. The 10th House, and indeed the National Assembly, have consistently affirmed that in the face of present developmental needs, strategic and responsible borrowing is an essential fiscal tool. Like every modern economy, Nigeria must sometimes leverage credit to finance critical infrastructure, stimulate growth, and protect vulnerable populations. What is important and what the President has assured is that all borrowings remains targeted, transparent, and sustainable, consistent with Nigeria's medium-term debt strategy and guided by global best practices. Under President Tinubu's leadership, borrowed funds are being channeled towards transformative projects that will expand revenue-generating capacity, such as power, transport, and agriculture, rather than for consumption. The House stands firmly behind the President's vision of using judicious borrowing as a catalyst for growth and poverty reduction, while simultaneously strengthening oversight mechanisms. Another critical challenge is revenue leakage through corruption, illicit financial flows, and inefficiency. African countries collectively lose staggering sums that never find their way into developmental programs. According to the African Development Bank, Africa loses over $587 billion annually to capital flight. That is money that flees the continent through corruption, illicit trade, mispricing, and profit shifting by multinational corporations, among other channels. Corruption alone is estimated to drain about $148 billion from Africa annually. And other illicit financial flows such as trade malpractices, smuggling, among others, siphon away additional tens of billions of dollars. This money that should be used to build roads in Lagos, equip hospitals in Nairobi, or improve schools in Accra, but instead it vanishes. Nigeria presents a cautionary example of both the challenge and urgency of oversight. In our public procurement processes, which make up a significant part of government spending, Nigeria loses an estimated $18 billion each year to financial crimes, roughly 3.8% of our GDP. These leaks could fund numerous social programs many times over. There is a need to stop such leakages so that budgets can lead to better outcomes for citizens. That is why we have been increasing oversight hearings, audit inquiries, and strengthening anti-corruption laws. Oversight is vital in ensuring that limited resources are used for the public good. Institutional capacity constraints also pose a challenge. Many African parliaments have historically lacked independent analytical resources to effectively scrutinize budget and expenditures. Without access to high-quality fiscal data and economic analysis, legislators may struggle to hold the executive to account on complex issues of macroeconomic policy, debt sustainability, or public investment efficiency. This gap is exactly what parliamentary budget offices are meant to fill. In the face of these challenges, we are responding with reforms to strengthen the legislative power of the purse and ensure accountability. One of the most significant advancements in Nigeria is the effort to establish the National Assembly Budget and Research Office as an independent, not partisan budget office for our legislature. I am pleased to note that the House of Representatives passed the NABRO bill on December 21st, 2023, and it is currently awaiting concurrence by the Senate. This initiative, once it becomes law, will establish a dedicated institution to provide expert budget analysis, economic forecast, and policy impact assessments for the National Assembly. Let me at this juncture assure this audience that the National Assembly is fully committed to NABRO's realization, full funding, and independence. We envisage NABRO as a catalyst for evidence-based budgeting, comparable to the renowned U.S. Congressional Budget Office, CBO. The CBO is often cited as the gold standard, providing non-partisan analysis to support the U.S. Congress. Our aspiration is for NABRO to, in time, rival or exceed the CBO in analytical capacity and credibility. We will insist on statutory provisions to safeguard NABRO's autonomy, ensuring it has access to all necessary fiscal data and insulating its reports from political interference. The NABRO legislation has been crafted with these principles in mind. Beyond NABRO, the Nigerian legislature is advancing a broader fiscal governance agenda. We are revising our fiscal responsibility and finance laws to enhance budgetary discipline and transparency. We are empowering our public accounts committees to take decisive action on audit findings. Additionally, we recognize that institutions are only as strong as their people. Therefore, we are investing in developing the technical skills of our lawmakers and staff by training them in budget analysis, economics, and accounting so that they can more effectively scrutinize government finances. Furthermore, we are strengthening Nigeria's procurement laws, particularly through the ongoing reforms of the Public Procurement Act, to close loopholes, improve competitive bidding, and increase value for money in public spending. Alongside these reforms, anti-graft agencies are being empowered to plug leakages, tackling losses that cost Nigeria an estimated 4% of its GDP each year. To confront these fiscal and governance challenges effectively, I strongly recommend that African parliaments embrace cutting-edge technology and artificial intelligence as critical tools of reform. Around the world, parliaments are already demonstrating how data analytics, machine learning, and digital platforms can transform budget scrutiny and anti-corruption efforts. For example, in Estonia, one of the most digitally advanced governments globally, AI-driven systems streamline procurement oversight and flag irregularities in public contracts before they become scandals. Similarly, South Korea's digital budget and accounting system integrates real-time tracking of expenditures and has significantly reduced leakages by ensuring that every transaction is transparent and auditable. Nigeria and our sister African countries can no longer rely on outdated malware practices that slow oversight and dilute accountability. In our National Assembly today, it is still common for committees to request up to 30 printed copies of documents from ministries, departments, and agencies for budget defense or investigative hearings. During sensitive investigations, some agencies have even resorted to deliberately inundating committees with mountains of documents, irrelevant annexes, duplicated files, and technical jargon designed to confound and obfuscate. Over the years, these paper submissions have littered basements and overflowed every storage space in the National Assembly, creating inefficiency, waste, and a physical reminder of our outdated processes. By embracing modern tools, we can reverse this trend. AI-assisted audit software can rapidly scan and analyze thousands of pages of financial records, identifying anomalies or trends that might otherwise be buried. Natural language processing and machine learning models can categorize and summarize submissions within minutes, allowing committees to focus on the substantive issues. Blockchain-based platforms can secure procurement processes and ensure traceability, while interactive public budget portals can empower citizens with direct access to fiscal data. These innovations could significantly enhance the capacity of parliaments, parliamentary committees, and especially parliamentary budget offices such as NABRO, making their analysis more timely, accurate, and resistant to manipulations. By harnessing technology and AI, committees can modernize their processes, bridge information gaps, deter corruptions, and enhance transparency. Let me quickly talk about regional cooperation and shared opportunities for reform, because it is relevant to what you are here for. No country can achieve the goals of fiscal transparency and sustainable development in isolation. African parliaments and PPOs are more to gain by working together. The African Network for Parliamentary Budget Offices is invaluable in this regard. It provides a platform for African PPOs and similar institutions to meet and share ideas and experience in order to strengthen support for parliamentary fiscal oversight. We must leverage this network to raise oversight standards across the continent. Encouragingly, several African parliaments have established PBOs, and others are following suit. By sharing experiences, we can identify which governance structures are most effective, how PBOs can be best integrated into the budget process, and how to tailor analysis to meet legislators' needs. Newer offices can gain invaluable lessons from more established PBOs. Conversely, seasoned PBOs can also learn from the innovative approaches of newer ones. One promising avenue for cooperation is developing common analytical tools and data frameworks. Fiscal issues often transcend borders. Consider public debt or the economic impacts of the African continental free trade. If PPOs across Africa adopt compatible models for, say, revenue forecasting and share data and publications, the quality of budget scrutiny will improve everywhere. We could envision joint training programs for PBO staff or an Africa repository of fiscal data and research that all our parliaments can draw upon. We also need a united front against illicit financial flows and aggressive tax evasion strategies that deprive our nations of revenue. These issues do not respect national borders. African legislators, through forums like the INPPO and beyond, can support each other in advocating for reforms such as stronger tax treaties, the exchange of financial intelligence, and the repatriation of stolen assets. When one country tightens oversight on, for example, multinational profit shifting, it sets a precedent that others can follow, thereby shrinking the overall space for corruption and capital flight across Africa. By sharing ideas and experiences in forums like this, we can learn from one another and apply those lessons in our daily lives. We should take advantage of easy opportunities for cooperation. Better oversight in any African country benefits all African countries on the continent by making the continent more transparent, stable, and prosperous. Honorable colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to conclude by saying that our pursuit of economic accountability and development in Africa will be challenging, but it is possible through determined action and collective effort. The commitment of parliamentarians must be steadfast. However, parliaments alone cannot accomplish this on their own. We need the support and cooperation of our executive counterparts, civil societies, media, and international partners. With these remarks, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to formally declare this conference open. May God bless the African continent. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can come even louder than that. Let it resonate in the corners of Africa. Yes, I'd like to invite the president and chairperson of this conference, General Counsel, so please join us here with the clerk to the National Assembly. He's coming with Dr. Mariam. First, you're going to have to hand over the instrument of power to the speaker. And then, of course, yes, after that, we'll also present to the clerk to the National Assembly. Okay. As soon as it is presented to the speaker, we'll be inviting the clerk to the National Assembly to do us the honor of opening that instrument so that we can also have a view of what it looks like. Mr. President, the microphone is yours. Dr. Mariam on this side and clerk on the other side. Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you so much once more. Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. This is a symbol of we give up to you as a patron, and it has a globe on it and the time in it. The globe symbolizes a global perspectiveness and interconnectedness. The globe represents the world of opportunity and the interconnectedness of the nations, just as you lead our National Assembly here, but also we recognize you as a patron for the network. It signifies the global standards of governance and legislative excellence that you uphold. It reminds us that our decisions here in Nigeria have a ripple effect impacting our place in the global community. And the clock represents time, progress, and importance of timely action. The clock at its base symbolizes the critical importance of the time in governance, reminds us as the challenges facing our nation, our continent, our globe requires timely and decision action. It signifies the passage of the time, the legacy you've built, and we're hoping to help us build at a continental level. It speaks to the fact that now is a time for action, for the progress, and for securing better continent going forward. The AAPBO GC believes this item perfectly encapsulates the values we share, a commitment strong, stable, and respected Nigeria and the continent and global stage. It symbolizes It's a symbol of our shared vision for the future where Nigeria is a beacon of progress and good hope for the continent. I thank you so much for the honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for the speaker and, of course, the chairperson of ANPBOGC. Thank you so very much.
Much appreciated.
We're going to have a group photograph very quickly before the speaker leaves. Can we invite those of you on the front row? Please come forward. Those of you on the front row, please. We'll have to go down so that they can all come up. That's all right. So we'll take this first. This is going to be the first picture. And then after this, we're going to be inviting, can the rest of us please step down briefly for the time being? We're going to be inviting all participants from member countries to then join them. But that will be done in a manner that will be inviting the speaker and those of them on the front row to come down to the lower platform. And those of you from member countries will now have enough space up here to be able to join in the pictures. So can we please invite those of you here to please do us the honor of coming down to the lower platform, please. You're in the special guest of honor, sir. So that the rest of your members can then join. They can't, if they stand here, they'll be blocking you. Okay. Heads of delegations from member countries, please. Heads of delegations from member countries. Can we have you very quickly, please? They'll step forward and then the rest of you will join. You can come up. Some can, some others will have to be on this platform because I can't imagine the stage taking everybody. Yes. Please. Come over here, sir. Akwaba. To say,
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.
Okay, welcome back. Our guest this morning, Dr. Stephen Okwori. He's a security